2, which I do believe we are still a little bit behind, but we are going to try our best to catch up for it. If it does go to Game 3, I think we should just be able to catch up to live. But again, the Aphelios gets locked in here. Sylas this time around for WE. And look, we talked about the Rise of the Sylas matchup. It's currently 1-7. This may be 1-8 because honestly, it just feels like the Sylas just does so much to counter what the Rise wants to do.
Yeah, Shanks is definitely in form for this series up against Ultra Prime as we kind of switched the mid-jungle duo, Maokai Rise in the hands of Ultra Prime this time, so we really need to see them if they can recreate the early lead that W was able to have in that game 1. However, we need to look at the top lane, another wet noodle fight, the K'Sante and the Xi'an, but I already said that I much prefer the Xi'an matchup into K'Sante because once you do get to those team fights, K'Sante is still killable. His ultimate was nerfed where you lose 85% of your resistance once you do pop it, so it's going to be really tough as Harry needs to play perfectly. But Caitlyn and Lux getting locked in for this game 2, already signaling that Ultra Prime needs to play bot lane. They need to get Doggo ahead, but Hope knows that. Hope and WE is going to shut down Doggo as much as they can.
Absolutely. I love how we kind of, bring it up and kind of say that this is more about WE making mistakes than it is Ultra Prime kind of finding the advantages. Because look, at the end of the day, you're looking at what is just huge amounts of engage. I will say if Ultra Prime can get this bot lane going, get a couple of early kills, it can definitely mean the world for the side of Ultra Prime. But if this falls behind, it will still be relevant later on in the game, but it's definitely not going to be as relevant as something like an Annie and an Aphelios. So curious to see how that kind of bot lane matchup ends up working off. But for the moment, it is looking like it is just going to be Ultra Prime just clearing out some of this vision, giving a little bit more XP to everybody involved, and then backing themselves away. But for the moment, it is just WE taking their time, knowing they don't need to make any mistakes in the early game.
I don't know why, when I do see a Xi'an sitting in the enemy jungle and looking so aggressive towards that blue buff, it just throws me back to when LPL had it twice this split where the top lane and the bottom lane would switch lanes and Xi'an would die to the buff as he secures the triple buff away from the enemy team, and it was definitely very cursed and creative to say the least. Very glad that we don't see this for game 1, but I was very interested in seeing Ultra Prime also trying to force something in that level 1 as they did gain the vision control. You definitely want those flashes offline as soon as possible to allow Ning to really guarantee those kills onto Doggo's hands.
We'll come straight back in, see how both these I mean, I was going to say, this could be a level 2 gank bot. This could be an immediate marker. I want he could flash in and get himself the CC. They're not even going to bother with the flash. They know they can catch out Baolan immediately. He does get the heal off and the flashes, but already all summoners are basically down in this bot side. Cleanse, sure, for Doggo, but it's just such a smart play here from WE. And this is honestly something we saw from so many players when Caitlyn Lux became prevalent last year before Worlds, is that you just got to fight it. You just got to go in and immediately make sure that they can't have the pressure they want.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be the Lee Sin versus Maokai matchup once again, where he is so aggressive, hung on this Lee Sin, burning both summoners from Ultra Prime. Can't ever push up whatever, since you don't have the vision control. Ning trying to get something as, I guess, a return since your bottom lane is now flashless. Ning isn't going to get anyone, however, as Hung has reset and going towards his red buff, but WE not going to get tower dove either, so it's going to be an overall dub for the side of WE.
Don't speak too soon. Might see a tower dive coming in now. There's going to be 4 people here. They want to make sure this Lux and Caitlyn can work. WE 2v4. There's a great double light binding. Gets immediately cleansed. There's a TP coming out here from Shanks as he finds himself now in the bot side. Very scary start for both these bot laners. But at the end of it all, still an advantage for WE. But the TP burnt by Shanks is going to hurt him in mid.
They're gonna spot Shanks, but I don't think they have the damage to kill a full health Sylas. I think that dive, if the bottom lane of Ultra Prime weren't literally 1 HP, it would have gone a lot more aggressive and probably resulted in a kill. Unfortunately, with Hung visiting them early, does mean that the play is going to die and Hung is going to also secure the Scuttle Crab in the top side. But this bottom lane is so important for the side of Ultra Prime because look at your top side, K'Sante, Maokai, and Rise. They pretty much do very less damage until you hit those 3 item spikes. However, in the hands of Shanks, we saw him doing damage at 2 items, so I don't know how... Maybe he's just the magician. I'm not too sure. But this time around, Sylas in Shanks' hand, and I think with the form that he showed up in that game 1, you have to play very smartly, and you have to get your doggo online for this Caitlyn, or she's just gonna get smacked by Shanks.
I mean, for sure. I think I love the idea of whenever Shanks picks in Rise, I'm going to start calling him the Magician. I'm just going to make that stick in my own head of just kind of like, he's now the Magician, and no one will have context. Only you and maybe a handful of people watching right now will understand why I'm calling him the Magician. But we do see a little bit more pressure being coming out now from the junglers in this bot side as they look to try and maybe make a little bit more happen. Hang is not done here, though. He wants to see if Gravitum will be enough to maybe make this one work. This is a wave is pushing forward. The light binding is not exactly a flash in, and immediately the CC is down. First blood to WE. Iwandi kept it close to his chest, but he knew exactly what he needed to do.
And the wave is still terrible for Doggo, where it's just going to be forever frozen. No flashes available for the side of Ultra Prime's bot lane. It is going to get cleared out for Hope, but first blood in the hands of Hung. Very proactive on this Lee Sin, and definitely something that we've been looking forward to for the second series.
Yeah, it looks like Hope wants to immediately back away right now. That's why he was going for the... Could have definitely went for the freeze, but decided I need a recall just instead. But again, this is just simple execution.
Simple execution, and exactly what we want from an Annie. Just flash in. You know the enemy team doesn't have those flashes available. Doggo did have the cleanse in his pockets, but Balhan as a support Lux not as lucky. So the the kill is going to go into the hands of Hung as Lux Caitlyn. If you're this behind, I mean, she's not behind just quite yet. I'm going to give them a chance, as these dragons, I mean, they're still looking like in the favor of Ultra Prime, as Lux is trying to get some vision control. But we did mention the Rise with the Realm Warp. He is able to make a lot of those proactive plays with his ultimate.
And that's what we want to see. I think it's what we want to kind of have come out. The all-out comes out in the top lane. BB takes a fair chunk of damage, but he's still a Xi'an with some biscuits, so he should be fine. But yeah, I mean, the way you kind of mentioned it is that, like, when we saw the Rise on Shanks, it is one of his best champions to date. He has been known for this champion for so long that he just knows how to use that tempo and really put down that pressure. Haven't really seen it from some of our newer mid lane. Excuse me, as Xing kind of puts himself in a bit of an unenviable position where he's already reset. He's not in a position to make this one work. Ning now seeing if he can get caught out. They're going to go straight in. Oh, not even get the kill on Pew Pew. Now Harry in a lot of trouble. Not quite got flashed, but not going to be caught out just either. Bubu keeps himself just about alive. And that's going to be another kill to WE.
There's no way Hung just takes Ning's lunch money 2 games in a row, right? There's just no way. Already 2 kills in the hands of this Lee Sin. Herald spawning in 50 seconds. I mean, the flash once again burnt by the Maokai and resulted in death. As Hung once again walking towards that bot time very menacingly. Hung just not allowing Ning to have any fun on the map, as he is that duelist forcing plays in the early game. Maokai doesn't have his items online just quite. Instant ult to the face from Bubu, and he is just way too squishy to survive any 2v2s in the current stage of this game. Shanks also committing some flashes, but that's not going to result in anything. But this wave, flashes are available for Ultra Prime's bottom lane, but Iwandi looking very thirsty for another kill as Hung is hovering around the side.
Hung is hovering, making sure his bot lane is a-okay, but just gotta say, huge games screaming out here from the WE jungler as well, because he's just been able to be in the right place at the right time, and having things like the Lee Sin back in the meta just shows you like why it's so coveted, why it's so respected in so many ways, because it is just a thing where you're able to kind of be a bit more aggressive. You're able to turn around those fights in topside where Bubu should be going down. He 100% should be dying. But because you got the extra damage, because you got a champion that can make things work, as we can see Hope kind of go in onto Ning. But again, like I said, you know, Ning kind of moves forward. He doesn't really want to fully engage on that because he knows he doesn't have the damage. He's only sitting on boots.
Sitting on a boots and a tiny cloth armor.
Wait,
the dragon is going to get started here. Which ward?
How does that ward not... you'll see it
What?
there. Neither ward sees the other ward. So WE are in full knowledge that this is happening.
He doesn't know.
And I don't think Ning's going to be able to take this. He doesn't know there's a ward. He's going to assume that they don't know. But that is... What? That is incredible. And thank you for the leash. WE are going to say thank you for this this dragon. 9% resistances are going to go our way unless you really want to try and hard force this. Here we go. Realm Warp to put the Rise back with his team. There's a cleanse immediately. The Light Binding lands down onto Shanks. His Hope takes about half his HP. Ching trying to put in work right now as there's going to be the stolen ultimate. Not able to get kicked away, and the steal comes in. A 1 for none as WE do keep themselves unkilled in this game, but a good steal by Ultra Prime keeps them relative in the objectives.
But what does that mean? WE is just going to rotate towards this Herald and get that for free, as now your Maokai doesn't have his ultimate available, so he can't force you off any play. BB does have the TP available, so he is going to... I mean, he didn't get forced out of lane at all, so this is just going to be a Herald going to the hands of WE. 1 kill, 1 Herald, although they lost the Dragon 50-50 flip. I'm still very happy, or WE very happy with the game state, as they are rotating everyone towards this top side, even the bottom lane. So it is going to be a numbers advantage, Xi'an.
It's going to be a numbers advantage pretty much all exclusively to WE. We are going to see them now look for a little bit of an engage. Ning getting jumped on here. No flash, which means he is dead. Hing picks up his 3rd kill of the game. Now Harry, great usage of the all-out, brings himself and Bew away from the rest of WE. And the Rift Herald shall be started again. But now WE are on this top side. They can get the Rift Herald. They can drop down some plates. There's a lot they can do here. But for Ultra Prime, they are gaining on the bot side. They're getting a lot of free time for this Caitlyn. She's building up a CS lead.
Xi'an, we assumed this series was going to go to a 3-game, but with how WE is really showing up tonight, I don't think it's going to go to that 3rd, because Hung is playing out of his mind. Although loses the 50-50 smite here, they instantly delete the Maokai from the game and just kick into Maokai from the Silas. He is gone. Ultra Prime can't really follow up after their front line is dead. Now even the top side, Ning dying once again!
Yeah, you mentioned dead, and unfortunately
oh no,
the Elders heard you. There's going to be a TP coming in here from Ching. Should be able to clear out the wave once he gets there, so no second plate to be taken. Nope, never mind. There is a Shelly to come down, or Shirley to come down and try to do this. So you got 2 massive minions here with Tibbers and Shirley as the rest of WE can't push in. They would love to get this 4th plate, but bit risky to kind of make that one happen, especially when you're looking for a play on the bottom side. Doggo in a lot of hurt if he gets caught out, immediately flashes away. Stolen away ace in the hole means that Baolan actually gets caught out here, and he's going to be taken out almost certainly. Does have to flash away. Doggo ends up walking straight as he ends up being the target of that ace in the hole, but Shanks has been doing so much between this game and the last and really putting himself forward. This is the Shanks I remember from 2021 summer, the one that almost made it to Worlds. It was a meta that suited him, but my God, was it really, really definitely, you know, kind of this kind of play that brought him to light on this WE roster.
And he's definitely showing that in this series in particular, where Shanks is just making another play on the other side of the map as Ultra Prime jungler falls for a 4th time. All the ultimates burn onto Beauty here. That really explains his health bar. Shanks realizes this and rotates as he burns both flashes from the bottom lane of Ultra Prime. Also, my apologies for screaming. It's just very sad to see Maokai, Ning in particular, being 0-for-0. As this map state, I mean, sometimes it is just purely up to the jungle and how they set up the tempo, and I think Hung has done that beautifully, where it is just enabling Shanks to make other plays on the map because they are so ahead in terms of macro.
So far ahead, and this Lee Sin is just getting to that massive mid-game skirmishing spike that we all know and love. Why so many junglers love to play him. He's such a fun champion in so many ways. Now Harry, seeing if he can maybe do something here against this Xi'an. Again, having a pretty decent time, 30 CS ahead, and CS leads across the board, you gotta be honest with you, for Ultra Prime. It's keeping them in tow, and about 1,500 gold behind, despite the 5 kills to none in favor of WE. Light Binding shouldn't have hit, but it did, because that's the way the hitbox works. And WE still trying to stack themselves up. They would love to have the Gale Force finished up here before any real next fight. 50 seconds to the next dragon, and again, more and more pressure. If Ning can get another steal, that's again more delaying here for the side of Ultra Prime. And honestly, despite the way the lane and bot side went, they still got the result they wanted, which is dragon stacking.
Yep, dragon stacking, although not all 5 plays in the hands of Doggo. Barely ahead in CS. If we get rid of the jungle matchup, this game is relatively slow as we don't see a lot of kills happening. However, Hung does exist and he is out with an absolute menacing performance tonight, forcing Ting out of his own jungle. WE notices, I mean, Ultra Prime notices this and tries to stop that, but they have to force something while they see Hung showing in that mid lane.
Gotta force something. But for the moment, Ultra Prime aren't able to make anything work right now with the Rise being forced away from mid. That's a full wave loss to him. Now, pretty much full vision control around this dragon available to WE as they may look to try and go for something now. Shanks steals away the ultimate from the Maokai and looks to try and just burst him out so he is no longer a problem. Again, more and more power going over to the side of WE as we can see now we can use it as they did not realize they actually got Bo caught. They had flashed. And no flashes, I should say. They get caught straight away. The Tibbers comes down. It's 8 kills to none. 6-0-2 on this Lee Sin. Harry and Bubu are going to exchange some words about their teammates, but there is nothing you can do right now on the side. Oh, flash, cleanse, grab it up. No, not quite able to get it there. Good 90 caliber net to keep him alive. Hope doesn't really want to try and be a hero, so should just back themselves away while this is all happening. The two Wet Noodles are doing exactly that. Wet noodling on the top side. We will see a little bit of a movement coming in here. Shanks is here, looking to see if he can maybe catch out Harry, who pops out the ghost. So at the end of it all, both ultimates are exchanged. Dragon goes over to WE, and WE are 8-0 in this game.
A perfect game for this side of WE as they just catch Ning out of position in this tri-bush once again, and all these skills going, resources spent on the Maokai, but this return Maokai ultimate from Shanks is really the deal sealer as they flash into the CC. Lux not having the flash previously, also Ting flashing into it just means an extra 2 kills, and Doggo kind of just stares at them as he doesn't really have a way out. Although surviving the dive as W didn't have the mana in their bottom lane, it's still such a tough situation to be a Caitlyn because you're up against something like the Caitlyn. You're up against something like the Silas that will be in your face 24/7. I mean, you have to play with that space, but Hung on this Lee Sin, he's gonna kick ya and smack ya before this Herald spawns.
And now we get more fights happening. Ning in a lot of trouble. They land the Q and he follows it off, but he's still pretty damn tanky. Balan flashes, as does Shanks. Does not want to get caught by that light binding and immediately get taken away from his team. So more and more pressure coming out around this Rift Herald. More and more summoners being burned. But the end of it all is still WE coming out pretty much the favorite of all of these trades right now. And just constantly putting down pressure. And I'm loving that Shanks has updated his build on the Silas as well. Normally we see the Silas going towards the Rod of Ages. It's a slow burner. No, I can get more done if I get the stun down from this mythic. It's just so much more better of a situation where he knows if he can catch someone out and keep them CC'd in place, they're just dead.
Yeah, the chain CC from WE is quite insane if you do take a look at it. The Xi'an, the Lee Sin kick, also Annie in the hands of WE for this game too. Hope is just comfortably scaling with 6 assists in his KDA. Finally, the tier 1 tower of bottom lane is going to fall into the hands of Ting, but you are so behind in gold in terms of that jungle position. I mean, Radiant Virtue is going to be the first item for Ning, but realistically, you want to have those AP items online because the strong point of a Maokai jungle is playing around those saplings and really getting those roots onto the enemy team. But Shanks is pretty much a better version of you every time he steals that ultimate away from Ning.
Yeah. Also, Everfrost is the name of the item he has. I just completely blanked on it and could not remember what it was called, but has got the Everfrost now.
Twin Shadows?
Oh, Twin Shadows was great. Build the first item on support immediately. Anytime you know wards, it was like, and Twin Shadows. Okay, not only do I know that there is an enemy jungler coming. Yeah, it's like, not only do I know that there's an enemy jungler coming, but I also slow them down so I can walk away, and it was great. I'm sad. There's so many items that got taken away from the game. Heart of Gold, gone a long time now. And Deathfire Grasp.
Unholy Chain. Is it Unholy Cup? I don't remember anymore.
Athene's Unholy Grail.
Ah, Athene's Unholy Cup. Yep.
Yeah. It's it was good kind of setups here. Speaking of setup, Ning has no flash, but they haven't really fully committed to this one here. The final spark comes out as Shelly gets to do her second favorite thing, which is bomb one more time. And that's just 1.5 turrets picked up here by the side of WE, and like you said, apart from 1 or 2 objectives, this has been an almost perfect game by WE. They're 8-0. Honestly, they should be 2 dragons up, but that's neither here nor there. And outside of that, they've given up 1 turret. I mean, that's pretty good going, especially when you're going into a composition that has the Rise and the K'Sante that want to be on side lane split push.
Yep, it is quite the unfortunate 50-50 flip as Hung missed it by the slightest, also having that smite available in his pockets. The tap did get taken away here though, so I'm assuming there is going to be some action. I lied, this is going to just be another dragon going to the hands of WE as they are setting it up very soon. Black Cleaver picked up for Hung as he is sitting on 2 items now, also 2 for the likes of Shanks. So you're going to look at this game and you're going to look at the KDAs and really wonder what went wrong here. Because you see the bottom lane, 006, 007. I don't know, I can't really pinpoint it, Xi'an. What do you think?
It's a hard one to know. I think we'll leave the analyst to you. I'll let you kind of, dwell over that for a while as we figure out what WE want to do next, because 4,000 gold up. Next dragon in 8 seconds, and this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. I feel like Ultra Prime will not want to let WE get this one for free, because it does feel like it's just a slippery slope to allowing that soul to go over. Is an Ocean Soul, which is fantastic for something like a Xi'an and a Xi'an. As we can see, Ning is taking more and more harassment here. It was great gun management here from Hope, really just kind of putting in some fantastic numbers here on this Aphelios and showing that he can be the engaged. And maybe that 006 is something to do with the pure amount of engage he's been able to pull off with these Gravidoms. And yeah, it looks like Heng's going to be able to pick this one up for free. No real contest at all. And that's a 2-item Xi'an. He's 6-0-2 and has the Black Cleaver already at 20 minutes. That is unheard of. Yep,
unheard of, as like you said, a near perfect game from the side of WE, and Hope is most definitely having a very fun time enjoying the Aphelios coming back into meta. But I'm just thinking of options where Ultra Prime can come back into the game, because realistically, Doggo isn't too behind. He is still farming. He still has a Kraken working towards that IE, but Baron 50-50 flip may allow Ultra Prime to come back into the game. Hopefully, WE isn't too silly about it, and they do turn with the Gravitum.
Yeah, I was going to say that this could have been the moment here for Ultra Prime to break back some of this deficit, because it definitely is an unnecessary objective to try and fight over, especially with how powerful it can be. But I suppose there's no harm in checking every now and again. You would love to have your Jack show onto Bubu before you really look to try and get any fight, as you do have 2 items on your K'Sante, so he's doing exceptionally well. And the top laners have been honestly just so uninterested in how things have gone so far. It has really been just down to the junglers, and the difference between 6-0-2 and a 0-5 is night and day, as the Baron has been started. Doesn't go down exceptionally quickly, but red-white, let's fight. As that's what I imagine WE are looking to try and do. They flash in, get the Timbers down. They're trying to burn down Ning. He's almost dropped, but he cannot fall just yet. Harry nearly gets himself on top of the mid laner of WE, but now you can see Hope pushing in with all these chakrams. Double kill here. Flash forward by Bubu. He knows where his items can be, but he does not land a decimated smash, does not get the CC down. Great work here by WE. They never wanted the Baron in the first place. They just wanted to lure you in.
They baited Ultra Prime into that as a 3-for-0 trade. Now they're going to secure the Baron, but iWondy just consistently looking for that flank, gets his hands onto Ning where he was 1 HP, and he escapes by the bare tiniest bit of health, as BB is going to force them off this tier 1 tower just in case of any trades. WE definitely playing this game very calculated. They are not taking any risks, as we do know Baron flips do result into some comebacks for the enemy team, as they do have some insane scaling. However, Ting never going to find that angle, as it is still a 3-for-0, as iWondy gets his hands onto Ning instantly. He gets kind of ping-ponged around here, and it's just a very terrible day to be this tree for tonight, as Balin gets rooted by Silas's ultimate and gets taken down. Hope having the time of his life, flashes in, DPS's everyone. So Xi'an, now here's the question. Is WE really going to end the game without dying once?
I was hoping, I genuinely was hoping that we would come in and immediately someone was just getting killed. Just like immediately, and someone dies straight away. Well, speaking of someone dying, Heng does not get caught out by any CC just yet, so should just be fine. As we can see, Harry Maybe looking to try and catch out this Annie.
damn
And
it.
oh my god! Almost like it was predicted coming into this one here. As soon as we start talking about this, it always ends up happening. But that one kill is not going to be enough. WE picking up plenty more where that came from. You gain one, we take two. And now Ultra Prime find themselves without their top laner or their jungler. Honestly, any of their front lines. So they're looking at pure skill shots to clear these waves.
And I1D falls as the first soldier into the hands of Ultra Prime, but now with the Baron buff available, BB also pressuring the side lane without your main engage of the Maokai and the Cassante. It's going to be really tough trying to fight off WE as even Doggo forces the cleanse out from the Gravitum stun. It is just looking so hard for Ultra Prime as they are just getting squished in their own base. Even with Dragon spawning in 1 minute, they aren't going to be able to contest that. And TP coming out of Bubu, they are just going to force this mid lane tower to go down.
Yep, and that's 12,000 kills for Team WE as an organization within the LPL. A monstrous number from a team that used to be one of the best in the LPL as we finally see maybe what could be the final fight. Here we go, Shanks goes forward. Oh, the Everfrost hit three people!
Ning?
And Ning! Not quite able to find himself in a great position as Heng catches him out with the kick. And that is going to be WE taking over this fight. It's going to be WE taking over these side lanes. And WE taking a 2-0 in commanding fashion over Ultra Prime.
End the game, WE. Wrap it up, boys. Level 16 on Shanks as well. Bubu forcing the ultimate to take down these towers even faster as Cassante Perry also falls as a result. Hope having red-white, just chopping them down. It doesn't matter too much. Ching 0-1 and 0, no KP whatsoever for this game too. An absolutely dominating performance out of WE for this series tonight. And they get away with a clean 2-0 to finish everything off.
From start to finish, WE were just in control. Ultra Prime never had an opportunity to make anything go against them. That brings WE. They were in 12th. It brings them up, I believe, to 11th. I think they're equal on series score with RNG, but they are behind in game score. I think RNG are on -3 and they should be on -5 if my maths is correct, but still, that's why we talked about the game scores being so important. We are getting to that point in the season now where you're looking at the likes of RNG, Team WE, RA, LGD, all on 5-7, 4-7 respectfully. And that's where these series are going to come into it. That's where these little differences are going to start making huge motions in how the table is actually shaped. So great start here for the week in WE. Great way to kind of bring themselves forward. They are now obviously kind of bouncing back after a good few losses in a row. Again, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They did lose to Top Esports and JDG. Definitely two of our top teams in the league. But now they've got a bit of a run now. They've got IG, LGD, Weibo, NIP. These are very, very beatable teams, in my opinion. Even the Weibo's in there. I could see Weibo dropping. That's just the kind of team Weibo are.
It really is just a battle for better seeding, and like you've been saying, WE managing to scrap this win puts them to the 11th place, and hopefully they do get to find some extra wins as they had a very dominating performance, especially Hung on that Lee Sin. I think he played the early game spectacularly where he just never gave any angles for Ultra Prime to play back into the game. I mean, Ning had a terrible time on the Maokai, probably one of the saddest performances I've seen so far in the LPL, but that's exactly what you expect out of a Lee Sin versus Maokai matchup. You want the Lee Sin to be aggressive early. You want to put the Maokai behind before he picks up his items and starts forcing those major objectives, and it's really nice to see W really playing towards their strengths and having Hung super carry on Lee Sin tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it really did look like WE were on a different level to the side of Ultra Prime, and you can see there the goal difference over time, and it just never really got going for the side of Ultra Prime. They just never really found anything, and honestly, just really heads up play, in my opinion, from the likes of the WE kind of setup on the bot side, kind of saying, look, if we let this go to whatever, 10, 15 minutes, and we haven't done anything about it, Doggo and Baolan will just have much more control over this bot side.